From tragedy to triumph, the inspiring journey of a village hero learn English with stories. This is the heartwarming story of Paul, a young vegetable seller from Green Valley whose extraordinary kindness and resilience inspire a village. Despite losing his parents at a young age, Paul becomes a beacon of hope for his siblings and even a lonely old woman. But his journey isn't without challenges. Jealous competitors, Mr. Smith and Mrs. Brown, plot against him. In an unexpected twist, the old woman saves Paul from danger, and together they build a stronger, more loving family. This tale of compassion and courage teaches us the power of kindness, even in adversity. The camera pans over the lush green valley, setting the serene atmosphere. A narrator begins. In a small village where every dawn promises fresh beginnings, a young man named Paul starts his day. But little does the village know, Paul's kindness will change lives forever, and that his life, too, will be tested in ways unimaginable. The scene cuts to Paul waking up before sunrise, carefully selecting the freshest vegetables. Close-up shots show his determination and a soft smile as he whispers, "Fresh vegetables, fresh hope." The story quickly jumps to an emotional moment, Paul recalling his parents' teachings about generosity. This emotional flashback hooks the viewer, making them wonder how Paul will uphold those values against rising challenges. Paul is introduced as a hard-working vendor providing for his siblings. Scenes of him walking the streets with his cart, interacting with villagers, and winning hearts with his sincerity. New details. A deeper look at Paul's relationship with his younger brother Michael, who dreams of becoming a teacher, and his elder sister Mary, who confides in Paul about her wedding worries. Mr. Smith and Mrs. Brown, the envious vegetable sellers, are shown scheming. New dialogue explores their background, how they used to be the top sellers before Paul came along, adding depth to their motives. Paul meets the old woman and learns about her struggles. A tender new scene shows Paul secretly leaving a bag of vegetables at her doorstep before their first conversation. Paul's growing bond with the old woman adds richness to his character, highlighting his innate generosity. Mr. Smith and Mrs. Brown's jealousy turns sinister. They set a trap for Paul, sabotaging his cart during the market hours. This causes Paul to lose half of his stock one evening. Despite the setback, Paul smiles through the chaos, with the old woman encouraging him. Kindness is never wasted, Paul. A pivotal moment. The old woman overhears Mr. Smith and Mrs. Brown plotting and decides to intervene. On a dark road, Paul faces his rival's threats. The old woman's courageous screams attract villagers, turning the tide. Mr. Smith and Mrs. Brown are confronted by the crowd and shamed for their actions. Paul invites the old woman to live with his family. A touching montage shows her settling into the household, bonding with Paul's siblings, and bringing a sense of warmth and stability. The family starts a small vegetable stand together, expanding their business and spreading joy throughout the village. Villagers praise Paul's kindness and reject Mr. Smith and Mrs. Brown's antics. The duo reflects on their actions, and Paul, ever kind, forgives them, offering advice. When we give more than we take, we all grow richer. The old woman shares a heartfelt lesson with the viewers. Kindness has a way of coming back when you least expect it,